Hello and welcome to Around the Planet for the month of July. I'm super excited to interview Jovan Sisneros. Thank you so much for willing to be interviewed.
Thank you for having me.
Why don't you tell the Planet family a little bit what your title is now and how long you've been doing it?
Perfect. So I'm a service advisor for Genesis of Golden. I have been doing it for coming up to a year and a few days. My main role at Genesis of Golden is to help the workflow of the service vehicles that come in and help build the trust and confidence within our guests to be able to allow us to service their vehicle.
And I have to say that I've heard the scores at Genesis through the Genesis company as well as the Google reviews. You guys are doing a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
So that's super exciting to see, especially working out of a trailer is not always the easiest for sales and service. So you guys are doing a great job over there.
Thank you so much.
So thank you. So what was your job before this, before a service advisor?
So I was a marketing and media specialist for a sporting company.
Okay.
So I did that, and then before that I was a technician for a directional drilling company.
Perfect.
Helped
All
them
right.
out with that.
Okay, so you can use those talents in your current job.
Absolutely.
Now, do you have one day that's busier than another day? I mean, not everyone knows what a service advisor does, when your busiest times are. Why don't you share a little bit about that with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So July is our busiest month, with everybody wanting to go out and kind of travel and enjoy the summer months. Typically Wednesdays, Thursdays are the ones that are kind of the most packed for us.
Really? And it's just jam-packed.
Absolutely. Full schedule, and then two valets and a loaner usually. So.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Absolutely.
Now, do you have a favorite Genesis vehicle?
I do. So I'm a big fan of the GV70.
Okay.
I really like the interior and the size of that vehicle.
It's very fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's such a great vehicle.
It really is, and the ride quality on them is just amazing.
And it's so fun. I mean, all the gadgets. I'm driving a Genesis right now, and I don't even use half the gadgets because I don't really know how. I don't sit through the training, and I should, but it's just amazing all the things that it can do.
Oh yeah, I still learn new things every day from my technicians on how they show me to access different software and things like that.
Isn't that
it's
amazing?
Always a learning experience.
So do you have a favorite vehicle or a favorite button or something that it does that not maybe other cars don't do that you can think of, or?
Yeah, so I like the smart posture feature that the Genesis offers.
I do
That's
too.
one of my favorite features, because once you're in it, and especially on long road trips, to be able to adjust your posture is one of my favorite things.
And I think it's amazing that when you're driving a little bit, I don't know if it's an hour and a half or what the time limit is, all of a sudden you get a massage. Yeah. And the first time it's like, oh, what's that, And it kind of shocks you a little bit. I don't know what other cars do that, but I was kind of surprised by that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of my favorite features as well.
I know. Well, that's fun. Well, I love it. Obviously, Genesis is a luxury brand, and it's, it's expensive, it's high end, and I would assume that your clients maybe expect a different type of service or delivery, or how would you say a Genesis customer is maybe a little bit different, and maybe not, but from what people that I know that have purchased them, they kind of do have a higher expectation of delivery or things like that. What's your experience with that?
Yeah, so my experience with it is, of course, they're purchasing a luxury vehicle, and at the end of the day, I think what we have to do as kind of a brand or as a collective team is get our guests to understand that they're purchasing a luxury vehicle, so they deserve a luxury experience.
Absolutely.
And that's something that we need to capture on, and I think we do very well, and our numbers kind of reflect that.
Right.
And it's hard for somebody to be able to trust a dealership to be able to work on their high-end vehicle that are typically above a certain kind of price threshold.
Right.
And being able to gain a guest trust to allow us to service their vehicle or to be able to do really any work, because it's always, I think, a little frightening leaving your vehicle with somebody that you don't know kind of how they operate or who they are as a collective group. And being able to build that trust to get our guests to come back every service or year after year to be able to get their kind of needs met.
Right. So how do you instill that sense of confidence to them that you are going to do a great job taking care of their vehicle and provide great service? That's kind of hard to do.
Yeah, and I think it's just being professional, being able to come across to them and building that trust with them, and just explaining kind of the work that they need or recalls that they have, and not over explaining it, but explaining it to the point to where somebody that's not so mechanically kind of gifted can understand.
Right.
So it's,
Right.
I think it's about simplifying the explanation on it, and then meeting their needs is the
Right.
biggest thing. Is
Right.
kind of going off of how the person comes in, what their expectations are, and just being able to meet what they see as a luxury vehicle or what they deserve with a luxury
Right.
vehicle.
Well, it sounds like you need to be a great listener because, like you said, you kind of said that, you're trying to assess how much they want to hear, how much they need to hear, and then not over-delivering that where they feel like, I already know what you're telling me, talking down to them, but at the same time letting them know what needs to be done. So that's a talent. Good job. Wow.
Have some good mentors. So
I
Ryan
never-
and Christian Storm are really great
I
at
know.
kind of
They're two of my
teaching.
favorites. I know, Ryan and Christian. You guys have a great team. All of our employees are great, but it is a great team, and to see Genesis brand, starting in their own building/trailer is exciting. And service department and all that, and you and a service advisor and finance, everything just Genesis is super exciting. So you guys do have a great team.
We really do.
But
And
obviously you're very talented as well. So I appreciate that. I appreciate your sharing your talent with the Planet family.
Absolutely.
So thank
for
you.
having me.
So Jovan, if somebody is listening to this and they are thinking, I'd like to be a service advisor, what traits or skills do you think they need to bring to the table, and which ones are just natural and which ones can they learn?
I think ones that they can learn is be personable. Put yourself in your guest's shoe and just understand the fact of how important their vehicle is to them. They spend the most time in it.
Yeah.
And so if you were to approach your guest and kind of place yourself in kind of their side of the seat and just understand how stressful it could be, that nobody wants to leave their expensive vehicle with
Right.
somebody when it's their first time. And then I would say just being understanding, kind of learn how to speak to people and kind of evaluate how their demeanor is or how their personality is, because you can have a guest that comes in that's a bit anxious or nervous,
Sure.
and learning how to kind of calm them down and get them to trust you is, I think, the biggest thing as a service advisor.
That's perfect. And a lot of patience too.
Absolutely.
So,
Yes.
well, thank you for sharing that. Now, outside of work, tell the Planet family a little bit about what you do with your hobbies or anything personal you want to share with us.
Perfect. So I like to fly, fish, and golf.
Okay.
One thing that I like to do that's indoors is paint Warhammer characters. So it's a video game, or not a video game, it's a board game that you have to
Okay.
kind of assemble these characters and paint them.
And what's it called?
It's called Warhammer 40K.
Warhammer okay, I'm not familiar with it.
No worries, it's a pretty nerdy game.
Okay.
It's very awesome.
And you get to paint them?
I do. So,
Wow. And then do you go fight with them?
yeah, so you can play a board game with them. I haven't played kind of the full-scale game that they have, but I kind of like the aesthetics of being
Okay.
able to paint them and kind of taking.
So you're going to have to send some pictures to Bryn and Tanya and show us a little bit show us a couple of your characters.
Absolutely, I would love to do that.
I'd love to see that. And I've only tried fly fishing once. I went to this training, or whatever you call it, class, and I call it Disneyland because it wasn't stocked, but it was this private river, and then there was a guide there, and so I did the whole toss, set, hook, but they do everything else. I'm like, I can take my fish off, and they were like, no, we can do it. So what's the biggest fish you've ever caught?
I haven't got too big of a fish
Okay,
yet.
okay.
So I'm probably about a year into fly fishing,
Okay.
so still fairly new to it. I've got one that was maybe that big.
That's
my biggest
good,
one.
though. It's challenging.
It's incredibly difficult.
Yeah, and it gets tangled a lot.
Yes. And different flies for different seasons.
Yeah, I haven't even
and
attempted that. I'm just still trying not to get tangled behind me. But I do love it.
It's amazing.
Do you have a favorite place that you go?
I like to go into Salida. So kind of
Okay.
down south.
Yeah,
So it's my
really
favorite
nice.
place, yeah.
And you just go out there. Now, do you have the waders and you get in the water, or do you do it from the shore?
do. So I usually use the waders, or we float down the river.
Okay.
Kind of fish
I've
off
never
of
done the
boat.
float. Now, do you do the float with like the waders on too?
I
Like-
don't.
Okay.
I just wear a life vest because
Okay.
I'm not a fan of rivers and
I
fast-moving
know.
water, so it
I
kind
know.
of intimidates me.
It kind of reminds me of a ballet tutu. I shouldn't say that because we have a lot of fly fishermen, but they have the waders and then they have this tube around them. I don't know if you guys have seen that. And I'm always like, what happens if you like tip or something, you know? So I haven't done it either. I've done the waders.
Okay.
Barely, I'll get in like that. And but I think I would love to get better at it.
It's very relaxing.
It's very relaxing.
Even though I'm not good, I enjoy just to
Yeah.
kind of take the time and just get my peace and quiet.
I know, it's beautiful.
It really is.
Well, if you have a picture of yourself fly fishing, we'd love to see that
I
too.
think I can find one.
Okay, maybe you can send us a little how-to infomercial.
I don't know if I'm
I only
back
know
that
one,
good.
that's the only thing I know, is this one.
Yeah. It's not where I'm at.
I don't even know for sure what that is. And you also golf?
I do. really enjoy golf.
How long have you been golfing for?
About 2 years now.
Oh, wow. Good
Fairly
for you.
recent.
Yeah. And you like it?
I love it.
Are you a natural?
I am.
Oh.
Surprisingly.
Oh, I'm terrible at it. Seriously?
Yeah,
Did you play baseball or anything that would help you do that swing eye-hand coordination?
I did not. So the sports that I played, I boxed and wrestled.
Oh, geez.
Since I was about 6.
Okay.
And then after that, I believe I stopped when I was 15, and then went into football and track. So
Okay.
that's
You did a lot of sports then.
I did.
So what's your best shot in golf then? Are you the putt, the long drive,
I really like my 4-iron.
your which one?
My 4-iron.
Oh, your 4-iron, okay.
I really like that.
Why do you like that?
I like the loft of the club.
Okay.
And I just enjoy being able to control it a lot more.
Okay.
Distance-wise.
I played years ago and I was terrible and I used almost always my 7.
Okay.
And I don't know why, but I could chip. I did it for everything because I'm like, this is ridiculous trying to figure out these clubs. But I swing and miss, so I don't have that eyeball hand coordination. I also want to kill it, which is terrible in golf because you have to have that nice, easy swing, and I'm like, bam, and then the ball's sitting there, and you're like,
Yes.
But I think I'm going to take it back up because my grandkids are starting, so I'm like, okay, maybe I can take it back up now.
That's a great little family sport too.
And a lot of people around here play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, do you play with any of the other employees?
I do. So I like to golf with Jose, our
Okay.
finance manager. So
Okay.
usually him and I go out and play on Sunday. And
Nice.
get around in.
Where do you guys play?
Fossil Trace.
Okay, very pretty.
Absolutely.
How's your putting game?
It needs work.
Okay.
It needs work.
Now, do you drive with your 4-iron?
I do.
That's impressive.
Yeah, so I struggled with my driver for a little bit, and I was able to get it figured out, but my 4-iron was always the one that I figured out how to hit every time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
Very fun. So you wrestled and boxed.
I did.
That's. Are you from Colorado?
I am.
Because wrestling's really big in Colorado. I didn't know boxing was.
Yeah, so I got into that. My grandfather was a coach
Okay.
for the longest time, and he kind of taught the training of it, and I fell
Okay.
in love with the sport and
Okay.
didn't want to leave, and then I ended up going competitive for it and
Really?
enjoyed that, and traveling
Wow.
around to be able to see different states for a sport is always amazing.
How old were you when you were competitive?
I believe I went competitive when I was 8.
Oh my gosh. When did you quit?
I quit when I was 15.
Okay. Just wanted to try some other things.
Yeah, kind of wanted to open up my mind to different sports, and kind of played football ever since I was a little kid.
Okay.
Did flag football and kind of
All
fell
right.
in love with that sport even more, and
All
decided
right.
to go that route
That's awesome. Well, you're a great athlete, it sounds like.
sometimes.
Now, do you have a lot of family still in Colorado?
I do. So my family's originally from down south in southern Colorado,
Okay.
kind of Alamosa, Walsenburg area.
Nice.
So that's where I grew up. Kind of most of my summers coming out in the San Luis Valley.
Oh, so pretty.
It really is.
Oh my gosh.
So never wanted to leave.
I know. Now, is that where they all are still? Or they have some moved?
Some have moved, but my grandma still lives down there
Oh, nice. So you get there and go visit her?
every year.
Oh, that's so sweet. I bet she loves seeing you.
Yeah, and we still do some of the old kind of traditions that she liked
Okay.
to do. So they have the ponderosa pines that have the pinon nuts, and
Okay.
we'd always go out and kind of, I remember as a kid having a baggie and filling them
Aw.
up, kind of picking them through. It was monotonous, but
Yeah.
it's still amazing to this
But
day.
isn't that fun, a nice tradition? I bet she loves having you come up. Do you have a big family? Do you have a lot of cousins?
I do. I have a very large family.
How many cousins do you have?
I am not too sure. On my mom's side, her grandma had 18 kids.
18? Oh, that's a world record that I know of.
Yes,
I don't know
yes.
anybody that has 18.
It's a large family.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Wow. How many years do you know? How many years she had in between? I mean, how many years she did 18 kids?
I believe.
Was it like pretty quick?
It was pretty quick.
Yeah.
Year and a half roughly, I
Yeah.
believe.
So she was, that's incredible. That's nice. I have a huge family.
It is, but it's a lot of events that we have to go
Yeah.
to, so it's hard to find some time to be
That's
able
true.
to try to work
18,
everything
wow.
out.
What about your dad's side? Is his family as large or?
He has a very small family. So
Okay.
He has 4 siblings, and they have roughly 1 to 2 kids each.
Yeah, okay. Isn't that funny? That's 5 kids in that family, and that seems small, but now it'd be like a large family.
Yes.
So do you think you're going to have a large family or a small family?
I don't know if I will have kids,
Okay.
to be quite honest.
All right,
I
okay.
like being, it might sound selfish, but I
No.
like being independent and kind of using
Sure.
my time to travel around,
Yeah.
kind of see the world. And
I think
then-
it's great.
Yeah, and we have a pet, so it's,
What's your,
I have a mini Australian Shepherd.
oh, you have to show us a picture.
I would love to.
How old? Boy, girl? Or I should say male, female?
Girl, female.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a female. She's, I believe, 3 now.
Oh,
So still pretty young.
okay. So cute. What's her name?
Her name is Beans. She
Beans?
has 2 little brown spots on her eyebrows.
Oh my
so
gosh, you have to show us.
I would love to. She's very emotional with them, so that's kind of where she got
So
the name from.
she uses her expressions a lot.
She really does.
Oh, that's cute. How'd you decide on that kind of a breed?
It was actually my fiance that decided
Okay.
on that.
Okay.
I wanted to take some time away from pets, and then she talked me into it. She
Okay.
showed me some pictures, and then kind
a
of
great
broke my
dog.
heart. Yes,
Yeah.
and it was the smartest dog I've ever had.
I know. They say they're very smart.
She is. She
Aren't they
meows
like
a cat.
herders?
Yes, she's a
For
herder.
herds, yeah.
So if she's hungry, she'll bite my pant leg and try to pull me in that direction.
Oh, that's
So
cute.
It's pretty amazing.
And they are very smart.
Yes.
So does she do a lot of tricks?
She does, but she picked up on this kind of weird little niche that she has. She likes to meow like a cat.
No, she does not.
Yeah.
You've got to show us a video.
It was interesting the first time, and she was never around cats, never...
Is it really like a meow?
Yeah, it's
Really?
interesting. It kind of threw me off guard the first time I heard it, because it's like, do we have a cat now?
And does she do it when, like, instead of barking or when she wants something?
When she wants something,
She
usually...
meows. How
Yeah.
I've never heard a dog doing that.
Yeah, it's the strangest thing I've ever
That
experienced.
is.
It's cute.
Well, thank you so much for agreeing to be interviewed. I really appreciate getting to know you a little bit because I really didn't. So I appreciate your time and really, really appreciate what you do for the company. So thank you very much.
Thank you guys for having me and, of course, hiring me. It's
Well-
been amazing.
Well, thank you.